Manchester City. We'll start off with Alan at Sky.
David, the good news last night for you, I guess, that Jordan Pickford signed his new contract.
Yeah, really pleased. Good news that we got James Tarkowski signed as well, Jordan, Jared in the summer as well. So pleased. I think there have been 3 players who have made a big difference to the team. Certainly since I've come in, I think they've done a great job. So we're really pleased to get Jordan tied up as well.
Yeah. Again, during an international break, there's a questioning of his ambition, because he hasn't moved to a so-called bigger club. Sometimes questioning over his selection. Do you find that odd, when you look at the form he's been in for a long time now?
Well, I had him at Sunderland and I always thought he was going to be a top goalkeeper. He was very, very good as a young goalkeeper. He's continued to develop throughout his career. I always laugh about it and I say there's always some mad moments with Jordan, but I've got to say there's always some brilliant moments as well because how good his goalkeeping's been. I think the point is Jordan's the best goalkeeper in England, or somebody else would be playing instead of him, and he continues to do so. I think his clean sheet numbers over the years have been fantastic. So good credit to him, great credit to him, and hopefully the good times are still to come for Jordan as well.
And is he at that age where he can help you in the dressing room now with that experience?
He certainly is, and he does already. He's a big voice. He's an important player. He's certainly one of the senior players here, that's for sure. And he's been very good. Since I've been back, he's been excellent. But I wasn't surprised because obviously when I had him at Sunderland, he was a really, really good young goalkeeper.
Looking at the head of the weekend, no Jack Grealish. Obviously he'll be a miss for you, but it means you can bring somebody else in and give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, look, Jack will be a miss for us because he's played so well. But we knew that when we came to play Manchester City. He's on loan from there, so it wasn't something which wasn't expected. So yeah, we'll rejig, get ready, and get ready to go against Man City.
And on the plus side, you've got Keenan back.
Yeah, Kieran back after ridiculous 2 bookings, got him suspended. But thankfully, we had a great win against Crystal Palace, without him in the team. So we'll have him back in amongst it, that's for sure.
And when you look at the substitute performances from Beto and also Alcaraz last game,
yeah,
do they come into your thinking for this?
Yeah,
game?
Well they all do, but I think more importantly what you've said is the difference the substitutes came on and made is part of the job. I think we're hearing about it more often and seeing it more often now with the squad of players a lot of the teams have got in the Premier League. We have to try and be that as well. We need people to come off the bench and make a difference, and thankfully in the last game they did do.
Is there any other team news? How was Keane?
We've got a few people. We've got Jared back in the grass. We've got Merlin back in the grass. Unfortunately, Pato picked up an injury in the 21s game in midweek. So we've got bits and pieces going on. But all the clubs will be the same. Everybody's coming back from international duty, trying to get their players back, get them ready, find out what condition they're in. So we're no different from anybody else.
Just finally from me on Manchester City, I think signs that they're getting their mojo back a little bit this season.
I hope not, but I have to say, I think Pep's probably been, in certainly in the last couple of decades, or certainly one decade, he's certainly been as good as anybody there is in any country. His teams have been excellent. They've been a blueprint for so many clubs and young coaches to look to. But it's also good to understand that he realises at times he has to change as well and do things differently. And I think that's important for young managers to see that at times you do need to change. Even the best managers need to adapt and look to alter things when they think the best way to get a result is another direction.
There's been a lot of talk about managers changing styles, isn't there? Is this something that you, as you suggest there, you have to do as a manager?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think if you've got the top players, which he has, he probably doesn't need to change very often. But he did show at times if he felt as if he needed to do, he can do so. And I would expect it. I think it's very difficult for managers always to be successful and continuing going up the way. At times, you'll have ups and downs. Man City maybe in recent months of sort of changing their squad around, looking to rebuild. So during that period, you can get some strange results.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Al. We'll go to Betty at Premier League Productions.
Hi there.
Morning, David. Just picking up on that point about City and Pep sort of making some changes, adjusting. What sort of changes have you seen from them this season, do you think?
Well, I don't think I've seen big changes in their style. I think we're only referring probably to one game where he changes in one game. So I don't think that means that he's changed completely. All he's done is been a bit more adaptable. But I think the Man City we've known, who were probably over years were nearly unstoppable. You know, I think at the moment there's a more chance where you could get a result against Manchester City. Still very, very difficult to do so. But I think teams have gone and done it, and we have to try and do it as well.
I know Jack Grealish obviously can't play, but has he given you any insight or anything, any little added things that you can think about?
No, it's not the way I work. I'm not really that interested in going to the players and asking for. I think it's I just don't like the thought of going and trying to get secrets off MD. So no, I don't do that. No.
Fair enough. Just going back to Jordan Pickford, obviously you worked with him at Sunderland.
Yeah.
How have you seen him, I guess, change and develop over the years, and how happy are you to be working with him again?
Well, I've got to say, as a young goalkeeper, he was fabulous, and unfortunately, the year I was at Sunderland, we got relegated. But if it hadn't been for Jordan, we'd have been relegated a lot earlier. He was so good. He's always been a great shot stopper. He's always been a great kicker of the ball as well. And those actions, I think, in modern football, and he's improved his general play as well, and his understanding. I just think that overall he's been England's number one for 300 or 400 games he's had now.
80 caps for England.
Yeah. So I think if you're doing that, then it's showing longevity as well in his role. And there's been challengers, but he's at the moment he's fended them off. I think the amount of clean sheets he's had for Everton over the recent seasons has played a big part in that.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks, Betty. We'll go to Julia at
Hi, David.
Hi there.
You had the conversation where you recommended him to Everton as well. Do you remember that conversation and how it went? And how did you sell him, or did you not have to sell him at all?
No, at that time, I was still and was always close with Bill Kenwright and a lot of the people connected to Everton at the time. And when I'd left, he'd asked me about the people there, and I said the goalkeeper was an outstanding goalkeeper, young goalkeeper. And I think did Everton sign him in that summer then? Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, Everton got him in that summer. So I think look back, was it 25 million? It was good. It was good money for Sunderland at that time. 25 million was a good price. Obviously, they wouldn't want to lose their goalkeeper, but with probably getting relegated meant that he would probably have to move on.
James Tarkowski has also signed a new deal in the international break. What has he brought since you have joined the club again? And also, why is it important to get these deals done now?
Well, I think it's important that we get the parts of the side which we feel have been really good. And I think recently, and before I came in as well, I said several times, defensively, it was probably the strongest area of the field. Jared Branthwaite, Tarkey, the goalkeeper, had done brilliantly well. But Tarkey's done really well. He's been a big leader for us as well. Big man, takes responsibility. I know he had a small injury, but in the main, very rarely injured. Always fit to play. So from that point of view, those things all add up to someone who you're getting good value for. He'll need to keep working like everybody else. No, the contract doesn't mean that he's that things are a given, but we know that we've got someone who we can rely on and we can trust.
Dwight McNeil played in the week for the under-21s. What does he have to do? I know he's had a few injuries in the last 12 months or so, but what does he have to do to force his way into the starting 11?
He has to keep pushing to get in the side. There's, as you can see, we've changed a few players in the attacking areas. We're trying to improve there. So Dwight can give us something which we want, which he's got ability to create goals, make goals. But he's got competition now, and I think maybe this time last year, maybe Dwight could have been probably Everton's best player, and he was injured when I first came in. So he has to get back to that and show that. And as I said, he's got sort of stiff opposition in front of him, but he done okay for the 21s the other night.
I know it's been mentioned that Beto came on against Palace and he was instrumental in changing the game at times. And what does he have to do then to be more prolific in front of goal. Is that something you keep working with him and having the discussions, and how can you get the best out of Beto?
Well, I think every Evertonian would has seen as much as what I've seen and has done. Of course, we're working every day with him, and the thing about it is, it's not that we want to. The boy is mad to do the work. He's a brilliant lad. His work, his dedication to try and improve himself is second to none. So you can only praise him for that. What do we want him to do? We want him to get back to what he was doing, running away from people, scoring goals. He probably, when I came in last year, probably had 8 or 9 1v1s at different times. But maybe the way we're playing, we've had more of the ball. You know, we're playing slightly different now, which has meant that maybe hasn't had quite as much room to run into behind him. But still doesn't take away that we still want him to score goals, and he's got a couple. He should have scored the header last week, which Jack gets, but well, it doesn't matter. We got the goal.
Yeah. Can you overthink it as a striker?
Well, I've never been a striker, but I'm sure strikers who would tell you, simple, try to keep doing the right things, get in the right places, keep hitting the target, hoping that one will go through the goalie's legs and you get another goal, and that gets you off and running sometimes. So I think he got in the right position for the header, what Ellie set up for him for the second goal, and the keeper made a good save. So if you're a striker, you want to score that though and make sure it's your goal. And the one thing I do know about Beto, he wants to score. Thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Any further questions in the open section before we move on?
Can I just ask, actually, I don't know if you know how Joel Catesby is after the under-21s, because it seemed a really nasty injury, that one.
It did. I think he had I need to be careful that I don't.
Still awaiting a
Still
full
wait.
update on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay.